Do you know the number one problem I see with people struggling to draw faces? It's perspective. I'm going to teach you the easiest way I know to get you through the basic perspective that everyone else is missing, so you can get to start drawing the faces too. I get it, the human head really is complex, and it can be daunting, especially for a beginner. It took me a while to get it too, but I'll show you what I wish I knew from the beginning. To simplify the head, we first need to go all the way to the basics, ellipse. Now you might be thinking, hold up, I wanted to learn about faces. What's his business with these boring ellipses? Please have mercy with the pitchforks. We are eventually going to simplify the head to a water cup. In other words, a cylinder. But to draw a cylinder, we need to first learn how to draw ellipses. The water cup method begins and ends with ellipses, so it's extremely important to be able to draw them successfully. So in this video, I'll first show you how to draw ellipses correctly, and then how to draw a simple water cup face. In a follow-up video, I'll show you how to take the simple water cup face to a more detailed face. Okay, back to ellipses. Being able to control the direction and width of the ellipse is critical for the rest of the tutorial. So let's dive right into it. You can think of an ellipse as a skinny version of a circle. It has a short side and a long side. The direction of an ellipse is shown as a line going through the center of the ellipse. You can think of the direction as an axle for car wheels. Notice how it skewers through the wheels and tells us where the wheels are pointing. One cool thing about ellipses is that the long side sits 90 degrees to the direction skewer. We can see that it's true for the car axle here too. When you draw the ellipse, imagine it as a piece of meat you're putting through a skewer for a barbecue party. We probably don't want it lopsided on the skewer. Instead, we want it to be 90 degrees to the skewer. The short side of the ellipse determines the width of the ellipse. If you draw it as wide as the long side, then we get a circle. If you draw it very narrow, then we get a very skinny ellipse, like a circle that's turned far away from us. In fact, it's not a coincidence. Ellipses are just circles in perspective. The skinnier the ellipse, the less of the circle we're seeing. So to recap, the long side determines the direction of the ellipse, and the short side determines the width of the ellipse. As simple as a shape is, ellipses are actually quite challenging to draw correctly. But it's an essential skill to have for drawing, well, anything. It might be hard at first, but it'll give you so much more artistic freedom and confidence down the line. So don't give up and keep practicing. Quick tip: if you're working on a big paper, like a newsprint, you may want to draw with your arm. This is usually more comfortable and gives more consistent results. Notice that my hand is stationary because all the movement is coming from the arm. If you're working on a smaller piece of paper, like a sketchbook, you may have to use your wrist. Note that the hand is now moving because the movement is coming from the wrist. If you're a beginner, I recommend starting with a big paper, so you can really get a feel for the direction and width of each ellipse. Drawing ellipses takes practice. Build mileage by drawing ellipses as a warm-up. For example, draw cylinders at different angles. Draw a headband with coins attached to it. If you're up for a challenge, draw a dome with coins attached to it. Draw a plate moving up and down. Keep the plate flatter towards the table and wider towards the ceiling or the floor. When drawing an ellipse, it might be helpful to draw it softly the first 2 to 3 times to feel out the ellipse. This is called soft touch. Once you feel like you have the correct direction and width of the ellipse, press down normally to commit to the final ellipse. Work lightly first and then commit. Now that we covered how to draw an ellipse, let's start simplifying the head. I present to you the water cup face. We're first going to draw a water cup and place very simple features. To draw a water cup, first draw the direction skewer of the cup, just like how we learned in the ellipse tutorial. Is it going to point up, tilted to the right, left? Then draw an ellipse at the top and another ellipse at the bottom on the skewer. They're going to be the top and bottom of the cup. Again, make sure that the long side stays 90 degrees to the skewer. Then connect the far corners of the ellipses. And now we have a cup. Now we'll start indicating some features. Draw a vertical line on the cup. This will be the center line of the face. Next, divide the line into equal thirds. Draw ellipses that go through them. They're going to be the eyebrow and nose lines. Place the mouth slightly less than a third way down from the nose line. Then place the eye line below the eyebrow line. Facial proportions vary a lot in reality, but placing them about a quarter way between the eyebrow and nose line is generally a safe bet. Finally, draw simple slits for the eyebrows, eyes, bottom of the nose, and mouth along these lines. Make sure the slits follow the contour of the ellipses we drew. And make sure that the simple features feel symmetrical about the center line. Make sure that the slits are bigger as they get closer to us. This happens because of perspective. Note how in this drawing, the slits are longer to the right of the center line because that's the side that's closer to us. If you're having trouble keeping the eyebrows and the eyes symmetrical, try placing an upside-down triangle with one point sitting where the center line and the nose line meet. Use the edge of the triangle as the border for the eyebrows and the eyes. In a future video, I will show you how to take this water cup face to the full face. We'll be learning how to turn these slits into more detailed features and at the jawline. So be on the lookout for part 2. Let's finish off the video with some more examples. I first decide on the direction of the water cup and then place the ellipses just like before. Again, I'm making sure to wrap the slits along the contour of the ellipses. Here, we're looking up at the face, so this means that the slits look bent upwards since they're following the contours. Same goes for the face we're looking down at. This time, the features look like they are bent downwards. Same principles apply for the side profile. The cool thing about the water cup method is that we didn't have to figure out if the slits should be bent upwards or downwards ourselves. Following the ellipses just took care of the perspective for us. This gives us a solid foundation for building out the face further. So I hope you give this method a try and keep practicing. See you in the next video.